Growth therapy. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And like I've actually had, I know we're not even like for starting, but like I like it here in the beginning. It's fine. Just start it all, and we'll just let it flow.
Also, closer.
Yeah. Just keep in mind a little bit. Like this is like perfect.
Okay.
So if you kind of like drift off to the left or right, it's
Yeah.
not ideal.
Cool. It was good. I've owed you this one. I've owed you this for a while.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah, I've been saying I was gonna come do this for like a year.
Are you nervous?
Nah, I'm not nervous.
Okay. Good.
Should I be nervous?
No,
Okay.
Are you nervous?
Ask me some crazy shit. I'm gonna be like, just
So can we say your name?
yeah.
Can I say B, Benjamin, Ben?
Benjamin Hinamanu.
Hinamanu.
Yeah.
Okay.
South African, Namibian.
Oh, is
know.
that what it is? I've always wanted to know.
You like the first time you met me, you thought I was Hawaiian, and I was like,
Did I say that?
Yeah, you were like, are you Samoan?
didn't-
And I'm like, no,
I
I'm
never
like
said
a
that.
dark ass Samoan. Then like,
I never said that.
you said, yeah, you did.
Wrong chick.
No,
because
I
don't think
swear.
would've-
No, you thought because you
Wrong
heard
girl.
you heard it. You're like, is that Hawaiian? I'm like, no.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't think that you.
I thought it was
Samoan.
cute. I thought it was I was like, oh, all right.
All right. Whatever. But he's not. He's.
I'm not. I'm African. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we'll start.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah. We'll
You
do
scared?
it. Yeah.
You got this?
I'll
Let's
try
do
to get this.
Hi guys, it's me, Stefanie Maegan, your host of Vocal Therapy, and guess the fuck what? Guess what?
Hello.
We
Hi.
have Benjamin in the motherfucking building.
How are we doing? How are we living?
And how we doing? How we living? This is interesting. We're in a different studio, different vibes, but we got this shit.
We got this shit.
We got to make this content because you are a rare motherfucker.
I appreciate that. I'm honored.
Like your schedule's hella busy,
Hella
so I'm
busy.
like, we got to
Wow.
make this work. We got to
Yeah.
book this this thing today.
Has
you
to
know?
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and so background story. This is Bobby.
I'm Bobby.
This is Bobby.
The nickname Bobby.
When did you find out that you're Bobby? Was it just
You
recently?
told me. You were honest about it.
Was it recent? Wait, no, it was when we
You told
did...
me forever ago. You were like,
Yeah.
listen, like, I'm not gonna actually use your real name because of obviously you like privacy and secrecy and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I appreciate that. That's honorable.
Yeah.
So you were like, I'm gonna call you Bobby. And I think like I clowned you for the name. I was like,
Did you?
Yeah, I was like,
Because
I don't know
B,
about that.
Bobby, like I try to keep it like...
I still think we can beat it. I still think there's an opportunity to beat Bobby.
Why?
Like it's just generic. It's like
I know.
you know.
I try to keep the names really generic.
Oh,
Like
okay,
I have
so-
Bobby, Charles, Chris,
Yeah.
Ricky, like all just really generic names.
Like I want something spicier, but we'll
Okay,
talk
well,
about
it's
it.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, you're Benjamin in real life, and now I just have to call you Benjamin because
Exactly,
that's
yeah.
just who you are.
Yeah,
Well, I have you here today because we gonna talk about it.
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Well, we dated a while ago.
It was a while ago, like 2
2 years ago.
something like that. 2
Yeah,
years and some change.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
And we met on Hinge.
which Hinge is unbelievable, by the way.
Why? What do you mean?
It's just a very in-depth dating site.
It's great.
It's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Tinder is too crazy.
Tinder's just meh.
Bumble's off the wall. Like you don't even know what you're gonna get with Bumble. Hinge feels like a good place to be.
Like Bumble's just like a lot of white people, and
Yeah.
then Hinge is like
Bumble's a lot of white people.
No offense, I'm just kidding. It's funny.
Hinge is like a digital library. Yeah, if I were to
Yeah.
meet somebody at like the library or like
Yeah, like you get like the creatives there.
you know what I mean? Like it's spicy. It's like, oh shit, you're like doing the you sell art. Oh, okay, yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah,
it's
like
that.
like you're in music and shit.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's natural.
you're an
though.
actor.
You're like, yes. So you're an actor, but you're a bartender. Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah, yeah.
You're doing the LA thing. Okay,
Right.
I got you. Yeah. It's the LA life.
Hinge
okay,
is great.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm like so over online dating at the moment, though. I mean, everyone knows I went through a breakup.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm like taking my time for myself, even though I am talking to somebody, but it's cool. It's another time, but another story.
Is that a serious thing? Is that like a
What? Me and this guy?
yeah? It's like
Yeah, I think I really like him. Yeah, we're just going with it, taking my time. I'm not trying to rush anything.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just going with it. I think my main priority right now is me.
Which is the best kind of priority.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm in therapy.
Yeah.
I hired a physical trainer.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's I mean, you gotta commit.
Exactly, like,
that's
I'm
some shit. You gotta show up.
exactly like 5 a.m.
See, that's
Like in the
too early.
morning,
Why?
during the
Why
week.
5 a.m.?
That's the only time we could do it. Well, it starts at 5:45, but I wake up at 5 a.m.
What time is your therapy?
Therapy is on Monday, like after work, so later in the evening.
I thought you were just getting all the hard stuff out in the beginning of your day, and then
No, yeah. I mean, I don't have therapy and my physical trainer the same day, so thank God, because that would be a lot. I would be like
emotionally, physically, just going through it.
It's hard sometimes to like get through my fucking day. I'm like, geez, like I woke up. It's but I'm working on myself, so my priority is me over trying to push on a relationship right now. Of course, yeah. But so back to us.
Yeah.
So we met on Hinge, and then do you remember like our interaction?
Yeah, we met at what was the one vegan spot? We were trying to go there.
Okay, yeah, we fucked up on communication on that first date.
Yeah, and it was, and I felt bad actually, because I was like, oh damn, like because I was late, and then on top of that, you
gave the wrong address.
Wrong address, and then we ended up. What was that one spot on Sunset? Remember
we went to like some taco place that was really good.
Yeah. So we went there, and it ended up like great.
Yeah, it was a good day. I honestly like that night, because back then was when I would always record when I'd go on dates, and I remember like I recorded. Shit. Yeah, I didn't record our date, but I record like I'm going on a date, but I had to block you from my story.
Oh, so I wouldn't. That's foul. See,
like, you should
have been all the way honest with it. You should have went on a date and been like, it was shitty.
No, but
so
then,
I could find out in real time. I'm like, oh damn.
No, I mean I didn't say it was shitty. I was just like, I remember I was just like, okay, I don't even know. I have to look back. Yeah. Honestly, I have to look back. I don't remember, but like it was funny. I just remember being like, oh my God, this date was really great.
Yeah.
Like I remember coming home and being like, you guys, this date was really fun.
I remember it being like long, but not like heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just chill. I think I was really impressed because, at that time, like I was, like I was going on like dates robotically.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these dates were like just a drink.
Yeah.
And you bought me food.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, yo, you bought me food. Like, that's dope.
It's like the upgrade.
Yeah.
It's like you get more than a beer.
Right. Yeah. Like you get a whole meal.
You get a whole meal with it. Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, like that's cool, So and also like besides the fact that like we also went to the Black Cat and we just chilled.
Yeah.
And then I actually remember I had to leave abruptly because I remember that I had to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, you were
super
doing
early,
some shit. Yeah,
and I was just like, oh wait, shit, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And you were just like, okay, bye.
Yeah, I like didn't know how to take the abrupt leaving. I was like, oh shit.
Really? What did you think of?
I was like, well, I mean, you could never really tell on first dates in LA. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like it's either going amazing or you're never gonna hear from this person again. So I was just like, oh shit, okay, this is just up in the air.
Did you think that you were never gonna see me again?
No, I thought it was a cool vibe, and what I really liked about it was we talked about, because I had just kind of moved to LA.
Yeah, I remember
that. And I was
that.
just kind of like experiencing what it was like, and you were almost putting me on game of like how to exist here, because there were so many transplants and there were so many people that are like kind of come and go. So like I felt like it was like a safe conversation. You know what I mean? Like beyond like the whatever happened like romantically, it was just like a dope conversation. It was like a safe space to like talk about life.
Yeah, no, we talked about a lot of things. It was good.
It was good.
And I just felt like, our conversations had substance. So I was really impressed by that. I was like, oh my God, there's food and substance.
Yeah.
He could get a second date.
He bought me food.
He bought me food. That's really great. He wanted to spend time. Because it's also like when you buy someone a meal, that means you want to spend time with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's why, I mean, honestly, like I was okay with just grabbing drinks with guys, because if I didn't like them after that one drink, I could dip.
Yeah.
But like to sit there through a whole meal and eat in front of each other, that's very vulnerable.
I mean, yeah.
That is like when you first meet someone. So
it is.
I don't know. And then so, as time went on, we were talking and hanging out and getting to know each other. And I felt like for me personally at that time of my life, there was just like, that was a hard time in my life. I don't know if you remember.
I do. You were like, it was a lot of transitions. But it was like a lot of like beautiful transitions in the sense of like, you were like getting the podcast started. You were like on the verge of a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I think like the way I took it was like, fire needs oxygen to breathe. So like I was like kind of like letting
You're
like
deep.
That,
That's the writer you coming out. Shit.
I was just kind of like trying to amplify it from around and not trying to like step in and be like, do this with your life, do that with your life.
Right.
Like, be that like outward support. So
right.
You were always gonna like be on the verge of something great, and I think like to see it even come to fruition like is dope.
Yeah. And but like at that time though, it's like I knew that I was passionate about this show and what I was passionate about, but at the same time it was like, again, it was a transition from my life because I was getting fired from like every job. I think I got fired from like 3 jobs.
Yeah, I remember that was some crazy shit.
Yeah, just everything. It
like
just
that was
nothing.
Like a movie. Like the fact that you were getting consistently fired.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this person is like habitually bad at her job. Like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It just seems
this is a red flag.
I was like, because you said it and you're like, oh yeah, I got fired again or something, and I was like scared. I was like, this is a bit much. Like this is, I don't know what to do with this information.
Yeah, but it's crazy because every time I got fired, it was never like, Steph, you're horrible at this job. It was like, Steph, you don't want to be here.
Which
was
that's honest.
True. Yeah.
You
and like
didn't.
every single, yeah, exactly. I remember the last time I got fired, they were like, we feel like you don't want to be here. And I was like, yeah, I don't. So it's cool. Like I could go get that unemployment. It's cool. I'm good.
That's hilarious.
But no, I was kidding. But for real, like I was just but I did. I just told I just said, no, I don't want to be here because I'm someone that like, if I'm passionate, like it shows. And if I don't care, I can't fake it. I can't fake it. Shit. So that's why like I get fired all the time. Yeah. But now we're at a good place. But, back then it was definitely tough. And I think, it was crazy because I remember telling myself like, Steph, you shouldn't be dating right now.
Yeah.
But like dating for me was a distraction. Which I was just telling you earlier before we started. Like I'm in therapy now.
Yeah. Real therapy.
Real therapy.
No.
Therapy.
I wouldn't even say real therapy. I would say other therapy.
Right. Paid therapy.
Paid therapy. Yeah, you gotta cash out for it.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. Like I have an actual professional, listening to me and guiding me through. But at that time, I was just dating because it was a distraction.
Yeah.
Trying to just not focus on what was really happening in my life personally. And with therapy, my therapist called out, was saying like, you date and you get into these like situationships because it's like an escape for you.
Yeah.
Like this is like you avoid something, so you just like dive into men in order to, just not think about it.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a drug almost.
Yeah.
So, at that time it was like, it was crazy. Like, I was going through all of that stuff and I was dating and I wasn't expecting to like you.
Yeah. That's honest.
Right. Like, I mean, honestly, I was just kind of like, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, when you hit me up for a date, I was like, I'm just gonna go just to go. And like, I don't even know if like, I was like, he's too good looking. I don't even know if he will probably have personality.
I'm gonna be dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna like not know where the restaurant. I'm gonna like.
You're like, where am I? Like,
yeah.
Exactly. Like, wait, what's your name again? I don't know.
Yeah.
So like, I just thought like, okay, this dude's probably gonna be like kind of dumb because he's good looking and shit. You know what I mean? So I just was like, whatever, kind of expecting like. But then he ended up being like actually very intelligent and like
I appreciate that.
had your shit together.
Thank you.
I was like, fuck, like it's just so you started like checking things off the list.
Yeah.
But then like I was at a place where I wasn't happy with who I was at that time, So
and I think like off that though is like when you're seeing somebody or about to see somebody, like being very honest with that point you meet them is essential.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think like a lot of the conversations we had was like, beyond us just starting to talk about like what does the second bedroom look like in our relationship, we were talking about like the foundation of it. And I think to me that's why I always thought like the honesty that you would be wanting from me always was deserved. You know what I mean? I was like, I gotta keep it real with her. I'm gonna like, if it doesn't work out, if I feel different or sideways about it, I'm gonna like give it to her straight because she's gonna take that and run with it in her own way, and I don't want like the foundation of our relationship, which is like being able to converse and talk about life, to disappear or like evaporate.
Right, exactly. But then I realized, when we were dating, like you were trying to be that, and I was like it was like the Aquarius in me, that was like very like I'm not showing my feelings right now, because I didn't want to show that like I was falling apart.
Yeah. Which I mean, but that's the thing though too, is like I feel like emotionally I was trying to seek that out of conversations. So I was like trying to get to the root of like what are you actually feeling?
Right.
So that
I couldn't.
And you couldn't. And I like, I feel like in hindsight it's 2020, like looking back on it, maybe then I was like a little bit more forceful or frustrated about it. I'm like, how come you're not showing your cards kind of thing.
Right.
But I think if I had to like do it again or like, you know, look back on it, I was like, should have been more patient and present and just be like a listener.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a passerby, like, hey, this is happening to you and this isn't a reflection of anything I'm doing wrong.
Right. Because I think I did feel, not that I felt like you pressured me.
Yeah.
But because like you know, we were talking and like I saw like Shin, like you, and realized like how great you were. And, you know, I think I've told you this too, like you marked a lot of things on my checklist of what I wanted in somebody.
Yeah.
But like I was not able to just like be vulnerable with you because I just wasn't happy with myself.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I tried to just like have this front, like that I was fine and I was going with the flow. And also before you know, I was dating dudes who only wanted me for sex.
Yeah.
And like you weren't just trying to just have that, like you were really like actually getting to know me.
Yeah.
You know, and like, and I think at that time I kind of knew that, but I don't think I really understood it. So I just tried to play it cool because I'm so used to just trying to play cool dudes because they don't ever want a relationship from me. So I have to I have to act like I don't got feelings.
Yeah. But I think like too, what's corny and honest about that is like, I feel like so many people in this day and age live in the ambiguity of relationships where like everybody's like dating in a gray area. You know what I mean? Like there's never like I'm with this person and this person believes this and we're doing, you know what I mean? It's always like this like really, really fugazi kind of like speak and talk of how you interact with it. And I feel like the way you and I were, I like wanted to like establish that I wasn't looking for a gray area. You know what I mean? As soon as possible. I was like,
you weren't trying to just play games. You were just trying
I was
to
just
find...
like, I don't know how games serve my interests, your interests. Like time wise, we're all living off borrowed time. And I was just trying to figure out like, how do we get to like what is important to us? You know what I mean? Like if we're not on the same page when it comes to like, for instance, like having kids or a life or whatever, that's different than like, I don't have time for a relationship now or I can't, you know what I mean? It's like two different conversations. And I feel like what I was more trying to do is just establish like, what do you fundamentally believe in? Like, what do you want to do with your life? What inspires you? What's ambitious for you? You know what I mean?
Right. Like just the more of like just the checklist of what's on the surface.
Yeah.
It's really just like, who are you as a person and what do you want and how is that like complement each other?
100%.
You know? And like, it was hard for me to be open about that because I was just barely getting my life in the present together. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm just trying to get a job. I don't know. Like I can't commit to, I can't think of, you know, something serious or marriage right now when I can't even get me right, you know? So I think that like timing, you know, wherever someone is at the place is like important, understanding like, okay, like this is where I am in my life. This is where this person's in their life. Like, you know, can this work? You know? And also for me, like I'm someone that likes to take my time.
Of course, yeah.
You know, like even I know some people are like, let's get straight to the shit. Like, do we want to be together or not?
Yeah.
But like for me, like I've realized, I didn't know at that time. I've realized that I need to be friends with someone. I need to take time. I need to feel safe because it's like hard for me to just be completely vulnerable and you know, and jump into something so quickly.
And let me also say it again. Like I like wasn't. Or I'm a strong believer in this. I don't think like rushing into anything is ever positive, but I think like transparency has to be established early. You know what I mean? Because essentially it's like if you don't have transparency early, then everything on the back end gets foggy. You know what I mean? You're always guessing. You're always like questioning like, well, what is? Maybe this person is thinking this, or maybe you know what I mean. There's really no established thought process, and I think like what's really interesting about LA is like LA almost kind of puts those like undue stress on people. So like, for example, like growing up in the Midwest, a lot of it is like marriage, kids. Coming to LA, it's just job. Like, what do you do?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Career.
It's like, what do you do?
Let's get this, let's just pay our rent.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, are you paying your rent? Are you, what kind of car are you driving? What, you know what I mean? And I think here is so interesting because, you know, you have to kind of dig through all that and then get to like, okay, this person actually likes to travel. This person likes, you know, Casio Pepe. This, you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
All these, you know what I mean?
I get that because like it's such a common thing when you like date in LA where it's just like, so what do you do? And how can this be helpful for me? You know what I mean? Or like, what does he drive? Like, it's just like very much surface level shit. You know? And
I feel like our conversations we had was like, instead of like, you know, money or what I drove or what I picked you up in, like it was essentially like what means something to you. You know what I mean? Like what do you care about? What what inspires you? Where's your empathy at today? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like those kind of things.
And I couldn't answer those questions.
You know
back
what I mean?
then.
Yeah. And like that's fair and that's honest, you know?
Right,
And I think like we were both sides, we were transparent about like where we were at. And I think like again, looking back on it, I was just frustrated at like I knew you would one day have those answers. And I think like just being able to be patient with the timing was like something I like didn't want to pursue in that
right.
sense. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
But also because you're in a different place.
Exactly.
So it's like,
exactly.
it's just like, why would you kind of wait till I figure it out? It's like, you kind of, you know, I have to figure this out on my own. Like you can't like be holding my hand. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like, I don't know. But I didn't realize like how much I liked you until you like ended things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I felt like I was hella polite. Like I was like decent or was it?
It's not
cold?
that you were rude.
Yeah,
it was or like it's not okay. It was not the verbiage that you used.
Yeah.
It was more so the delivery.
Ooh, that was it text? Or was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't, to me personally, it wasn't transparent.
Okay, that's fair.
And like, you know. So you texted me and you said, I think I texted you because you were out of town. I was like, I hope you're doing fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I believe it took you a while to text me.
Yeah.
And then you said, I think we should just keep it friendly when I get back.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I remember just sitting there like,
what the fuck?
yeah, like what? You know? And then I, of course, like texted my friends because I needed a second opinion.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't ever text him back. That's nah, you know? And so I was like, you know, I thought about texting you back, but I just like didn't really know how to respond to that, you know?
I feel like, you know, and again, looking back on it, I feel like where I was at with it was the way your actions were towards me and the way you were like delivering like, you know, messages or empathy or whatever, like was in a place where I thought you mutually felt like that already. So I felt like there would be no love.
I don't blame you.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, and again, like that's maybe just in my own head, but like there would be no love lost because like it kind of was what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I felt like the decency or the honesty I wanted was just to like let you know where I'm at. And I get it. Text is always a poor fucking way to communicate.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's always wrong. But I just felt like.
But I also sucked at communicating as well too. So we you know.
Yeah. So it was like, I think it was like, you know, at the root of it was like miscommunication on top of like, you know, not being on the same side of it.
Yeah. And I remember just being like, I was really confused.
Yeah.
And just like really sat on it. I was just like, obviously he wants to end it, but like this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know? And so, and I realized like, I was like, shit, and it's funny because like right before that happened, I remember thinking to myself, like, I caught myself not being vulnerable. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to like show that I care.
Yeah.
You know? So I started like, I remember you saying, you know, you wanted a new pair of sweatpants or something like that. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll buy a new sweatpants or something. You know what I mean? Because I was trying to find ways to
I needed new sweatpants. Like,
well, therapy merch. You gotta get some sweatpants.
I need some sweatpants. I was because again, I was new to LA and like I was making good money, but like I wasn't like ready for LA. You know what I mean? So I was still dressing like I was like in Wisconsin or some shit. You know what I mean? Like I was coming like if it was cold at night, I was wearing a flannel, and people are looking at me sideways like, bro, like
it's LA. It's
get out of here, Paul Bunyan. You know what I mean? Like this is too much.
But yeah, like it was just I remember like I caught myself. I was like, okay. Because I felt like you would say certain things to me that I would catch like, oh, he's trying to like see, you know, like the future with me, like, you know what I mean? Or like trying to hint for me to like kind of open up. Like I started catching on to little things and I caught myself and I was like, okay, I'm going to try like buy some sweatpants. And I think I even like looked up online some sweatpants or something like that.
Were they nice sweatpants at least?
Yeah, I was trying to get you some nice sweatpants, but no job, by the way. So I obviously.
Yeah, you're just dipping in the bag. Like,
I was like, what change do I have?
Opening the couch open, just like, what do we got here? I love it. I like the honesty though. Like,
yeah. And then so that's why I
there.
texted you. I was like, okay, let me text him and be like, I hope you're doing well, whatever. Because I was trying to like take the steps to show, because I was realizing, that I did like you and I needed to kind of, and so, but obviously it was already too late. And then you ended things with me and I was just like, damn, like, of course, like any person that gets like dumped, you think like, what could have I done better? You know what I mean?
Of course.
And I also was thinking like, why is he out there with like a new chick? Like, what's going on? And then I saw that you obviously got into a relationship. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
But like, at that time, I was just like, oh, okay, that's what it is, and it makes sense, And it's also like I was hurt, but I wasn't like mad at you because it's obviously like we were never exclusive. Like I say ex, you guys, but like we weren't exclusive. Like we were just getting to know each other. And of course, the dating world, you kind of keep your options open.
Yeah,
so,
in a sense, yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't like mad at that. I was like, okay, he had his options open.
But I would challenge you in the sense of like, I feel like there's relationships I've been in for years where I'm like, this person is just not it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's times where you have like, you'll be on a train and you'll talk to somebody for like 35 minutes and you'll be like, oh my God, is this the one? Like, like you know what I mean? Like you're about to get off, you're like, I think I love you. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, I think that's it.
Goddamn.
Like, what's your sign?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think like time is like a really fickle thing in that sense because it's like, it just really depends on circumstances, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that like, so when you saw that you got a girlfriend, I was like, that's what it really hit me, like really, really hit me. I was like, oh shit, like he was looking for a relationship. Yeah. Because you were new to LA. Yep. And I've come across a lot of dudes who were new to LA. Yeah. And they're, as soon as they touch down in the city, they try to just fuck. You know what I mean?
And that's to say, like, I did have a good time when I went wild in a sense, but like that being said, like I feel like as I'm nearing 30 and as I was nearing 30, like I was like trying to be more like marriage minded. You know what I mean?
But you're still young.
Of course, 100%. No, 100%. And I just felt like like what I wanted to see out of myself is like, I wanted something that was like more concrete and more like dependable. Like the idea of like coming home to like a wife and kids or like, whatever sense, right? Like is appealing to me, like, you know what I mean? And like the thought of like family vacations and stuff, and maybe that's like my own personal, like looking back at my own life, like I didn't have that growing up, but I think it's something that like I wanted to like establish in a sense as I moved to a new city, coming from Portland, which was like its own shit, you know what I mean? Right.
Damn. Yeah. Well, yeah. And that to me, like that's amazing. I guess for me, like I just didn't understand that because I was so used to like dudes just coming out here to a new city, you know what I mean? So like when I saw that, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like he is someone who's looking for like a wife. Or,
or like
serious.
at least like a serious, like a somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, I mean like that shit is rare.
Yeah.
That shit is so rare. So I was like, oh shit, and then I realized, damn, like I want that.
Yeah.
And like I've been so, and I've talked about my whole phase a lot on the show, and I've talked about all the experience that I've been through. And I think the whole phase is very important. I think we all have to go through at one point of our lives or several times in our lives, whatever suits you. But, for me, like I went through that and realized like I'm actually not a hoe. Like I'm someone who wants to be like a woman to somebody, you know what I mean? Like I want to be someone's girl, like, but I just lied to myself because dating in LA is so tough. It's not like the Midwest, it's not like the South where it's more like there's more monogamy out there.
And that's to say too is like, I mean, both of us have had a good time dating around and all these kind of things. I think like there's something really special in that. Like I feel like even the bad dates, I've like learned so. I remember one time like I was on this date, I won't say her name, and I remember like she was like just teaching me all about wine. You know what I mean? And I remember like thinking to myself like, she was going on like a trip later, whatever. And I remember like not getting able to like, connect with her after that. But I remember like that was years ago. Looking back on it now, like I have like a wine membership. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's like, you know what I mean? It was just like this little blip of time where I like learned enough. I was like, oh shit, like tannins and like Pinot. And like I was like, oh shit.
Like, oh,
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm like, I got a base, and like I think like that's what dating is. So it's so interesting in LA, especially, is because like you do get to meet a lot of people and
from
like,
around the world.
From around the world, yeah. And I think like keeping it friendly and keeping it transparent and honest, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like, live your life.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so, and I think for me, like, it was hard to be transparent with you and with any dude because I wasn't transparent with myself.
Yeah.
You know, and like, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Oh, the audio, you're like, he nods his head.
Like,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No, but it's true though. Like, it's like you have to be real with yourself. And at that time, like, I was not real with myself. I was like, I'm trying to figure out my life. Let me just... like just have fun dating and just not take shit seriously. But in reality, like in order to get a good job that I want, in order to get a good man that I want, I got to take shit seriously. You know, and at that time, obviously we should have fun. We learn from it. But like at that moment, you played that part in my life that made me realize how important it was to like be vulnerable and to work on myself in order to get what was great, you know? What I deserve.
I love that because, you know, a lot of my homies always tell me too, because I'm like always in my head and they're like, everything's in your head. You know what I mean? And like, I think about like, you know, something we talked about early is like, you're so good at like public speaking. Like, I feel like you could give a presentation and like just talk and have no problem. And I felt like, I remember telling you, I was like, I got a presentation coming up. Like, I'm hella nervous. And like, you're like, why are you nervous? Like, well, you know what? You know, and I think it's so interesting is because you just got to meet people where they're at.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that starts with yourself. You know, and I think like a lot of the growth that I've had to do personally was like being really wrong in a lot of relationships, like not getting it right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
it's trial and error.
Trial and error. You know what I mean? And I felt like once you start, you don't ever like get it fully right, but you start getting like better habits. And I felt like by the time I met you, I was like not perfect by any means. Still not. Like, I just think I was like enough like marriage minded, like relationship minded to where I was like, I need to set up better habits for myself. You know what I mean? Like I need to like be more honest early, you know? And I didn't know how that was going to end up. I didn't know what that looked like. I just was like, let me just be as forthright as possible. And then wherever those chips fall, they're going to fall.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, it's so true. And like that, you know, that is a huge thing, and I think that I always want to be a huge advocate for that, and I always talk about it where it's like, okay, we're dating, we're doing all this stuff, but like you gotta love yourself, and I think that's the whole point of Broco Therapy is like literally people have listened to past few years of me like learning to love myself, you know, and going through these mistakes. And that's why it's so important that like you're even here today is because I've talked about it. You are a little snippet of the story of like my personal self-growth and like showing that example, like even your point of view of how you felt like, you know, what you've learned and all that stuff. It's just like we're all just trying to just get it together, you know what I mean? Like we're all going through it, you know? So like I don't know, so like you definitely play that part where I needed to be vulnerable. Yeah. And then the relationship after you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, before we even get into that, I think what's dope, though, about it is that I think, like, the commonality that we definitely had early on was that whatever Broke Girl Therapy became was going to be dope. I feel like that was the one thing that never wavered.
Right. And like, I love that you really believed in me and the show.
I fucked with it like immediately. I was like, this is because it's so interesting. It was like, here is this Asian woman that's doing this thing that, you know, isn't even represented in her culture, isn't, you know what I mean? Like doesn't exist, isn't like validated or empowered. And I think like in that, I was like, that's dope. And then the fact that you were so honest and so open and so like, you know, ready to fail and like not know whatever. On top of that was like this really cool lens that I felt like immediately as we're talking about it in like maybe it's early stages was like something we agreed on. We're like, this is gonna be dope.
Right.
Regardless
and I think that's what I really liked about you too, is what got me drawn to you was the fact that like you understood why I was doing what I was doing.
Oh yeah, immediately.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was just kind of like, oh shit, okay, that's cool. Like you know that I'm just not out here just trying to be like silly.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
there's like a purpose to this.
There's a purpose,
you know? And like I think it was you know, it's rare to find a man that could understand the emotions of it. Like I think that you were really like in touch with your emotions. And
I really fuck with like intentionality. You know what I mean? I really fuck with people that are like, oh, let me make this happen and I want to make it happen this way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I love that. And I think like that's what you offered early on was like this aspect of I want to make it like this and it's going to be how I see it in my head. Period.
Right. Yeah.
And then you had people that came in and they added lenses and perspectives and points of view and you questioned them and you agree with them. And I think whatever it ended up, it was still what was in your head. And like that kind of nugget of what, you know, is personal to you, I think like is what we're seeing now.
Yeah, this shit is like my child.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Literally, like, yeah. So.
Your child's like in middle school now.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean? Like,
no, I think she graduated.
She graduated now?
She grown now.
She grown now.
But yeah, no, like it's crazy. Like, and then you played this huge part on why I started to become vulnerable with my next relationship after you.
It's wonderful.
And I mean, everyone knows about the story of Morgan. That's just like the hot topic, I guess, right now on my show.
Yeah.
You know, but like it was like I went from you where it was like, okay, I'm not going to show emotions, to like to a dude that I started to really fall in love with, and it was just all emotions. No sex. We never even had sex. Like me and him, just no sex, all emotions.
All emotions.
Yeah. So it was like, it was crazy, and
was it mutual? Was it like both sides? You were like, you know, kind of just giving it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a point for that though. There's like a reason. I mean,
well, what do you mean like mutual as far as like the emotions or like no sex?
Well, like the emotions.
Yeah.
Like I feel like sometimes there's like the, you know, you're just trying to love a person and they're not loving you back.
Oh yeah. I mean, we said I love you. Like we were together. We were, you know, like we were official.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously, like I loved and respected the relationship more than he did.
Yeah.
But what it really came down to was like him as a person was not that great.
Yeah.
And that's like no shade. I mean, I still to this day, like if I love someone, like I love them forever no matter what, and like I still care about that dude. But it's just like as far as like the way he is and the way it's just toxic together.
Yeah.
And you were a part of that beginning.
Yeah.
Realization. Of the toxicity of my relationship.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because going back to how we ended, we didn't have a conversation.
Yeah.
We didn't have a conversation at all. And like we didn't talk. I didn't really like stress on it. I was hurt obviously, but I was just kind of like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But then you did hit me up and you wanted to catch ramen and just catch up.
Yeah.
And I figured and I knew it was because we never had that conversation.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And I know you too as a writer.
I know, yeah.
You're like a story.
There's always a story behind it. I like,
right. I think, you know, you being a writer and me doing what I do, like we're both storytellers.
100%.
So like as soon as I saw that, I knew, oh, like this dude's just trying to like just fill out this story for himself and his narrative, you know?
Yeah.
And because we never really like discussed what happened.
Yeah. And like ramen is like the perfect amount of time to like have a deep conversation.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if you're having like a sandwich, it's like a couple bites, you're done.
Right,
okay, I'll see you later.
Right.
But ramen, you gotta slurp the shit.
Did you really think that through like that?
Yeah. I was again like extremely intentional. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, maybe get an appetizer, space it out. Yeah, like you have the timing. You have the timing.
That's great. What did you think was gonna happen?
Honesty. I think like you're gonna see where I'm coming from. And again, I don't believe in like convincing somebody of like a thought process. Like I don't want to be like, hey, think how I think.
Right.
But I just think like, you know, you at least seeing where I was coming from and me understanding how you felt and like where you were coming from and like how you experienced it, I think was like healthy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what did you think when you ended things with me? What did you think when I didn't respond?
That it was mutual. Like you already felt that, you know, it was like, it is.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't think that like I'd possibly be like hurt?
Well, no, I definitely knew you because I mean, like, you know, we had like a lot of deep conversations. I definitely knew you felt a type of way, but I didn't feel like that type of way was at the extent of you wanting to be like, let me buy this dude sweatpants and try to figure it out. You
didn't realize the extent of emotions.
Yeah. I just thought it was more just like surface level is what it is. You know, you not being that vulnerable with it was like your answer to like, you know.
Can you recall moments, just so they could like paint a picture? Can you recall moments of like when you felt like I wasn't being vulnerable? Like, did you catch like certain behaviors that were like, oh, okay, this is just, it is what it is kind of thing? If you remember, I know it was a long time ago. If you don't,
no, I feel like there was a couple times with like the job stuff because I felt like, for a long time I've been very, very like work minded and career minded, and I felt like I was very serious about like the work I did and like what I wanted to do and get better at. And I feel like I was like on the verge of a couple of projects, and I feel like every time we talked about it, and I was like encouraging you to like fail forward of like what you wanted to do in life, you stopped talking. You were just like, you were kind of like, like I experienced this, I like had this happen to me, and you just wouldn't like finish your thought process. You know what I mean? So,
Interesting.
yeah, so like you would say something and like it would be like, from the heart, but then you would never complete that thought. And to me, that was like also a display of like, oh, she doesn't really want to like talk about this.
Right. So you'd catch me just not wanting. Yeah, because it was like, it was something, I was embarrassed. I was honestly truly embarrassed because I saw you really like achieving it and killing it, you know, and like, for me, like I'm someone who like always wanted to be this type of woman, the woman that I am today, actually. Yeah. Like where I'm just constantly like just going toward, and I've always been this person, but at that time it was just like hard to believe that I was, that person, because I felt like not having a job and not killing it, it felt like it like lowered my value. Yeah. Which in reality, like shit happens, and having a certain job or whatever doesn't, like it's not who you are at all, and that was something that I also learned at that time, was like, oh, like this is not who I am. Like my job is not who I am. Like I am me, and like a job will come and go. You know,
like a job is like a financial relationship with where you work.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's right. And that's the scary part, is like, for me, I've learned that the hard way, and I feel like it's weird. Like you and I were kind of going through the same phase where like the dopest thing I felt like we talked about was broke girl therapy. Like to me, that was like even creatively what I was doing was like cool, but like the aspects of like the ways broke girl therapy could grow and expand and extend to like animation, all these things we talked about, right, was so dope because it was so genuine. And there was a need for it.
There was like a light in me when I had that conversation about this show.
Yeah, and like I feel like when we were talking about like how you're getting fired from these other jobs, I wish you just would have like been more, I guess, open about like you didn't want those jobs. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't for me. Right. And I felt like you try to like, you never fully admitted it. You know what I mean? You always try to have like your cake and eat it too, in the sense of like you wanted these jobs, you wanted to work over here, but you wanted broke girl therapy, which is, again, it's all fine to have all of it, but at the same time, I just wanted that like honesty about it. I was like, you don't like those jobs. You know what I mean? Like you're not fucking with those people.
But at that time, it was like I was so scared because I was doing broke girl therapy and everyone could see that I was like so in love with the show, but it was just like it was that the anxiety, the fear, of like, what if this fails? Yeah. So it was just kind of like, I needed to have stability. I needed to have that, and like I was like scared. Honestly, at that time, I was scared to say like, I want broke girl therapy as my job. Yeah. And like, honestly, I never even said that until like recently. And like, even though everyone knew it, like you see me light up when I talk about it, but then when it came to everything else, it was just like, it was just like, let's just not talk about that. Because I don't know,
And I feel like the way I saw it too was like, I questioned you in a very light sense, where I was like, if she can't go all in on what she actually loves, how can she go all in with like me? You know what I mean?
That's good.
And I felt like that was like that disconnect, and I was like, ooh, like there's something that isn't adding up, and I felt like that lack of transparency was like always a point of like contention for us, where we were like, damn, I want to ask her about this, but I know she's not going to respond in a way that's like transparent,
That's some real shit right there. I'm speechless. No, but it's true though, and I could see like that's the thing, is like when you ended things with me, I like understood why. I was like, oh, like I know where I'm at in life, and I'm not there. And it was just like, but I want to be there. So I think that like honestly, it motivated me.
And I don't want to make it seem too, because I feel like, in any relationship, interaction, whatever, interpersonal, anything, like there's always like two sides to it. And I don't want to ever put blame on anyone I was seeing and be like, yo, it was your fault. Right. I felt like the ownership and the aspect that I needed to take, like, complete, like, I need to fix this about myself, was like, I felt like I was so determined. You know what I mean? I felt like the way I carried myself with work and life and how people know me is like I'm very passionate and all in. And like I take a lot of like steps to make sure like the people around me are taken care of and good. Right. And I felt like you know, I might have overdid that in seeing you. You know what I mean? I was asking more of you than you wanted to ask of yourself at the time, and I feel like that's not fair.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's not fair.
That's deep. Because it's true. Because I think I do remember at one point feeling like I don't know, like feeling like like a little pressured, like I needed to be on your level.
Yeah,
you know
what
I mean?
That's not correct or right or
but it's
healthy.
like, but I also felt like you're, you know, but I also knew deep down like you're not a malicious person or like a bad person by any means. You know, it was just like, you know, it was honestly just. I knew where you were and I saw where I was and I was like, I'm not on that level. And if I want to get a good man who wants to actually commit to a relationship and also commit to his job. I need to commit to a job. And commit to a relationship with myself
100%.
And commit to what I love. You know, so that was something that I did really learn. And after you, like, you know, before Morgan, my ex, like, I took like I did like a dating cleanse. I didn't date for like 3 months. I was like, I'm not talking to anyone. I think like Morgan actually like right after you like tried to like get in there, but I was like, I cut him off. I was like, no, like I need a minute. Like I just need to be alone. Like I couldn't do it. So I honestly didn't talk to anyone for like a few months and took that time.
And that's healthy though. It's healthy to be alone for a while. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And like, you know, so and then I met him and then again you did like show up in my life again, how we were saying a few moments ago. It's ramen. Like the ramen thing, and I knew in my heart who you were, and I knew your intentions was it was just to have this conversation, but literally everyone saw, like it was crazy. Like that episode was like the most dramatic to the point that it traumatized me a little bit.
Damn.
That I was like, okay, I need to like have a little bit of privacy. And I love being transparent, but like that moment was like really, really vulnerable for me. Cause like he, you know, you texted me or you texted me whatever. And then I told, you know, I said yes. And then I told Morgan and I said, hey, like, just to let you know, I'm going to go see my ex because I know he wants to have a conversation with me. You know, like I know because we never like had that conversation, you know, and I think that this would be really good for me, you know? And so, and I thought at that time he would get it because I was hoping he'd be that type of person. And it was like the first time I really saw like, oh, this is not the person I thought I was.
This is not
this
the
ain't
fucking,
it, you
this
know?
is not the fucking vibe.
Like to the point where he ghosted me. He like literally cut me off and was like, hey, we're done. Like he did like what you did to me almost. Like he just like the next morning he just texted me and was like, I think we should just chill for a bit. Sounds very similar. And I was like,
I mean, like I hate the thought of being a homewrecker. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to.
No. But that's the thing. Is like you knew your intentions. And I knew my intentions.
That's true.
You know, and like. Even now, like I'm talking to this dude. And I was honest. I was like, hey, look, like I'm having this conversation. I'm having this show. And because this dude is secure in himself and he knows me, he's like, go ahead. He's like,
you got to, as a man, you got to be secure in yourself because I think like that's just vulnerability. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I got to be able to like I got to be able to chat with you and talk to you in an honest manner that's not like me getting jealous or defensive or
but also it's like even if he was jealous, you know, he was obviously. The communication part and the reaction part is really important. So him just being like, well, fuck you, and then just like cutting me off and blocking me, you know, was not the way to do it. Like if you say you're in love with someone, you say you're in a relationship with someone, again, being vulnerable and being like, hey, look, I'm not really comfortable with this. You know, and explaining that and having that conversation. But his reaction was to immediately hurt me. You know, and that was like the first moment that I realized like, oh shit, this is not good. You know? But I was so deep in love that I was just, and also again, didn't really love myself enough at that time. That I just like took it and you know, there was a whole Twitter fight as well too. He was calling me a hoe on Twitter, all this shit. And that's what he told me. He was like, you know that he's like hitting you up because you're his hoe.
Which I mean, I wasn't doing that for that reason.
And not to like try to put this upon you. But for the sake of like the pod.
No, and that's the thing too is like even with that, like just being transparent, like, you know what I mean? I feel like in recent years, I've been very transparent about like my intentions with women, and I'm like, this is what I want. This is what you want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Versus like, I'm not gonna ask you to ramen for other intentions. You know?
Right. Exactly.
That's like
right.
It's like a 1 hour bowl of soup. You know what I mean? Like let's just
like it's just chill. Like we're not trying to like exactly.
Yeah.
So but like it you know like I knew in my heart it was something that was just gonna be, you know, just a vulnerable conversation and not anything more. But, you know, at that time, like, you know, in his reality, he's thinking like, oh, you're going to meet up with an ex, you're going to fuck him, you know, because that's what he would say. He's like, obviously you're going to go fuck your ex. I'm like, what? It was just ramen. Just ramen. And then at that time, I didn't understand. And then eventually as time went on, just as what he thought I'd do to him, he did to me. Yeah. And cheating on me with his ex.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Mm-hmm. And then now they're together and they're married. So they're getting married. They're getting married. So,
oh shit.
Yeah. Sorry.
They're getting married.
Yeah, they're engaged.
Damn.
Yeah, I've been going through it.
Damn. But that's
what I'm saying is like, you know, I think like going back to like me and you, it's just like, again, you played a chess piece, and I'm not trying to call you a homewrecker or trying to make you feel bad, because I needed you to show me that being vulnerable was important, and to love, you know, and to work on myself was important.
Of course.
And then also you played another chess piece where I needed to see who he really was. Yeah. You know, because it was less about you. You could have been just anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like the fact that like you were an important factor in my life, because it really showed me who he was, you know, and like how people's insecurities are just a reflection of themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's exactly what happened, you know, with me and Morgan. Because like, obviously he's going to trip about that, because that's exactly what he would do. Mm. And then he did the same thing. So it's just like, that is the biggest lesson I've learned. And now being in something new, you know, it's like more so like taking my time and taking like all those lessons I've learned from Morgan, from you, and from whomever who like, you know, have really got me to be the woman that I am today. And I will be proud to say that I'm glad to be the woman that I am today. Yeah. You know, and I still have a lot of life to live. Don't get me wrong. Like season's not over. We got more to go.
And this is it, folks.
this is it. Bye. Like it's the finale. But no, but like for real though, it's just like it like, I think that like what I'm trying to just kind of spread to those who are listening is just like really just take every experience as a lesson. Yeah. And even if you date someone for a few months, we dated for like what, 2 months? We couldn't even remember how long.
Yeah,
month and a half, 2 months.
Month and a half.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So obviously less than 6 months, less than a year or whatever. Yeah. But like for a short amount of time, we were in each other's lives. Yeah. And even someone who could be in your life for just a second, it could be like a huge reason. And maybe it's just my spirituality coming out. No,
that's real.
But it's just like, so I feel like I take and I value every lesson and every person that comes into my life. Yeah. For short, long time, whatever it may be, because I really feel like, you know, it's like those side characters in your life and like in a movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? They kind of like show a reflection of who you are at that time and the growth and all that stuff. So seeing you was like, you know, what I wanted to see in myself. Yeah. And I didn't see that, you know, and then also you just making me realize that my ex wasn't shit. Yeah. So thank you.
I think like the most special thing you can give anyone is just time. You know what I mean? And I think like that's what
timing is everything.
It is. It is like that's all we're doing. Like regardless if I'm here or, you know, whatever we do after, what, you know, like whatever happens with like where we go in life. If I move to London tomorrow, right? Like it's all just about like timing and the time we give to each other. And I feel like the really special thing is in the time we saw each other, I wanted you just to feel valuable and like valued in the fact that like what you were doing and who you were was like enough. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like because I maybe wanted that in you so bad, I was more like, hey, like let's talk about this. Let's figure this out. Because I remember being that person in a relationship that couldn't vocalize it, that couldn't be emotional, that couldn't be vulnerable. You know what I mean? And that was because the timing was wrong. You know what I mean? And that's because I didn't know how to like give my time to somebody or commit that time to somebody. So I think it's just, it all comes down to timing. And I feel like the more we can like step in that space and like, appreciate each other and like really explore how to be better with each other's time, like the better we'll be in relationships.
Right, right. Yeah, no, Snaps to you, Benjamin. Benjamin Hinam. Oh fuck, I'm gonna fuck it up.
Hinamanu. Yeah.
Is that Hawaiian? Apparently, I asked you that on the first date.
I thought I was Samoan. I was like, Samoan? I'm a dark ass Samoan.
No, I feel like that wasn't me, but
I thought
fine.
It was like you. No, it was like you trying to make a
joke.
It was like an early joke. Like
that's a dumb joke.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, this is like,
ew, that's no. I was like,
that's some dumb ass shit to say.
I don't feel like that's a joke that I would say, but shit.
It was like you were just trying to like test the waters. You know what I mean? You were sticking your pinky toe in. And you're like, sense of humor.
Okay, like, well, to be fair, my jokes are better now.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I stepped it up.
You stepped it up. Yeah.
It's improved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, was there anything like major in our time together that you felt like you really learned about yourself?
Yeah. I felt like I can be a lot more consistent. You know what I mean? I felt like, even when it was coming down, because I was like working a lot, I remember that, and I was like out of town, and I was like all over the place, and I was like so focused on like, I think I was like making something for Apple, but I was like so focused on like whatever piece of work I was trying to get out the door that like I wasn't consistent with like showing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I felt like it was like it's like, I know we've talked a lot and hung out a lot, but like there would be a lot of blocks of when we wouldn't talk.
Yeah.
You know?
And I felt like it wasn't intentional. It was just like I was so driven on getting something done and like trying to succeed at that thing that like everything took like a back burner. It wasn't put on the back burner, and I felt like that was a lack of consistency on my part that I have to be able to take ownership of. And I feel like since then I've been trying to space it out with like all my relationships. You know what I mean?
Right.
How to like be out there.
Yeah, no, I remember like you even telling me like I need to be better at like hitting you up, and my fucking not stupid as I'm gonna say that. Sorry, my just my Aquariusness was like, no, it's fine. You don't have to always hit me up, even though deep down I'm like, yeah, please hit me up.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't being real because I just wanted to play it cool. I want to be like, I don't care. Yeah, it's fine. Hit me up when you want to. No, hit me up every day. What the fuck you doing?
That's hilarious.
Where you at? The fuck?
I forgot you're Aquarius because I'm a Gemini.
Yeah, you know what?
Triple Gemini.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember. You know why I remember? Because we're still friends on CoStar.
I know.
Our compatibility, it's so crazy because I feel like it was true.
Yeah.
We were compatible in everything except love and pleasure.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think when you saw that?
Oh, this is a red flag. This is some scary ass shit.
I know. I was like, okay, we're really compatible, but like, I'm not going to base it on an app, but But yeah, I thought that was funny because I felt like it was kind of on point because we couldn't see eye to eye when it came to like love and pleasure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like as a Gemini, like the biggest things people think is like, obviously the split personality.
It's dangerous. 3.
Yeah.
Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising.
I feel like I'm just on the extremes of a lot of things. So like if I'm like, watching a sad movie, I'm like terribly sad. You know what I mean? Or if I'm like, if I'm like in the zone or if I'm like presenting something, I'm like, oh my God, I got this. I'm like really focused and I'm really excited about it. But like, I'm on such opposite spectrums that like, I'm like a really indecisive person. So like figuring out like a place to eat, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're going to be like, what do you want? I'm like, I want a sandwich. Nah, I want ramen.
Oh, you're like every girl.
Yeah. Like I make decisions like
I still like struggle with that. I'm just like shit.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck do you say.
I like make decisions like an old white woman. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know.
Are you a Karen?
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm like, I don't know. I might get a cup of tea. I might get some soup. I don't know. We'll see.
You're Gemini scare me. Yeah. After you, I was terrified.
Terrified?
Terrified of Geminis, yeah. I mean, I've dated a couple Geminis, and it was always kind of the same thing. So it's just like, I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah.
But like, I'm an Aquarius, so it's like, Aquarius are like just notorious for not being able to like communicate their feelings.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like an Aries, like Moon and Rising.
Yeah.
So I'm just fucking passionate.
So that, I mean,
because it's like I actually do have feelings. Like I have a lot of them. I'm super passionate. I'm super like expressive. You know what I mean? And like it shows. But then like the Aquarius part of me is just like, nah, but we cool. We chilling.
with those feelings and that passion, how are you feeling about like, again, because relationships are one thing, but like the current state of our like country right now?
Oh no, I cry.
You just cry?
Yeah. No, I like it's to the point where like it like. It's like I have to take it in doses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You say like the news or like the information or
everything,
like everything,
everything in the world. Yeah. I mean, but I definitely like I'm somewhat like I remember like everything makes me cry, honestly.
Yeah.
But especially when the whole George Floyd thing happened, like I was like I was depressed for like weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember my boyfriend at that time was just like, "Why are you sad? We've been going through it." I'm like, It's just really intense. You know, but also it was like it was crazy to. It was like that the state of the world, but also like you know, I think 2020 we could all agree a lot of people's true colors were showing. So you're just like, you don't care about the same shit I care about. And you know, obviously with the election year and everything and just seeing people and realizing people that you are close with going towards this direction, Trump direction. And you're just like, you know?
It's like this year has been so wild and special in its own right because like it feels like, you know, as a black man in America, I feel like the Band-Aid was pulled off and like it never ever healed. You know what I mean? I kind of like explained to somebody else like, you know, it's like a scar that just never heals properly.
Right.
And like every time you move or adjust yourself, it just reopens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think like what I'm seeing right now in the world is like I feel so much more empathetic and saddened by like other communities that are going through similar things. So like I was driving yesterday with my homegirls and we were like getting food and we passed like a huge like protest of the Armenian genocide right now that's happening, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like not to get too heavy in it, but like just to see the community around that and these people that are like good people, kind people, right? Like have their country destroyed and you know vindicated, right? In political sense, is like just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like what's really interesting about it is like being a black man in America and seeing people that look like me and like seeing people that I'm like, oh, that could have been me.
Right.
Have that happen to them and then be able to see that also happen to other people in their own religious sexuality, right? Like it's like a weird form of connection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I want to stand with you.
But that's good. Know? That shows that you have empathy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's something that's like, we're living through some millennials. We've been through it all. We 9/11.
Yeah.
Trump.
Yeah.
And God knows what. I mean, we've been through a lot in our generation. Yeah. So it's tough, and it's just like, it's something that like as an empath, like you're saying, you kind of just you feel and you try to understand. You know.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of like what can we do? You feel like you feel helpless. You know.
A lot of this, a helpless feeling because you don't really know like. The thing about it is, you know, I don't think people talk about like, things going back to normal, right? I don't think there's ever going to be a normal again. I feel like we're just going to continually adjust to wherever or however this, COVID thing happens. But I think in that being said, is this level where there's like two viruses happening at the same time. So there's like obviously COVID, but then there's also this like racism aspect.
Oh yeah.
That has kind of like resurged, right? It's always been there, but like it's kind of reemerged and become this really, really provocative like talking point at tables. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, like, you have the white Iowa school mom that's going home and talking to her family because everybody else is talking about it, right? And I think like these conversations that are happening, it's like it's refreshing. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
feel like I've said on the show before, just as we talk about our own generational curses, I think as a country, we're trying to just break that generational
100%.
curse. So that's why there's a lot of just very uncomfortable conversations. There's a lot of just like truth being revealed
100%.
And people just, the younger generations, like I'm so proud of the Gen Z. Gen Z y'all are dope as fuck. And I know a lot of y'all listen to this show, so what's up? But like Gen Z are just so dope as fuck because it's like, I mean, I remember being 16 years old and thinking like racism wasn't real. Now 16-year-olds now know that shit is real. Yeah. So that's going to be change, that's my hope. I
love Gen Z and I'm so inspired by Gen Z because they like don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm saying that in the good sense of like, they're like, if they have something to say about the environment, you're gonna hear it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That sign is going to be freshly painted. It's going to be, you know what I mean? That shirt's going to be ironed out. Like, they're going to be there bright and early.
It's going to be a TikTok trend.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they're just not going to clown you. They're going to, like, put you on blast, and you're going to be viral. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're gonna go viral. They're gonna embarrass you.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect because it's something that, like, as millennials, like, we try to do.
Right.
We try to stay. I mean, again, we in our own right, we did a lot, but, like, we try to say, like, this is what means something to us. This is how we, you know.
Right.
But Gen Z, you know, the Greta Thunbergs and all these people, like, are doing it in a way that is so powerful. It's cool. It's refreshing. It's new. It's unique.
Right.
And they're doing it with, like, without regards to, like, the racist, the sexist, bigots. They're just like they're it's like just the shine. You know?
Because they're everything that's going on in the world. And all these conversations are happening at such a young age in the midst of, like, they don't know what life is without the internet. So like, they know how to communicate. They know how to use the internet better than us. You know what I mean? Like, we remember life before the internet. Like, they that's all they know. So they know how to use it. You know, and it's like, and they're more, you know, they're more in touch with what's happening worldwide and having these conversations. So that's why I think is super powerful, and I'm super excited. I love y'all. But
I think it's dope too, because it's like they don't switch up. It's like I like seeing Gen Z excited about LeBron winning a championship, but then I also like them saying, like, this is how we feel about climate change. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like,
they can do it in the same breath. They could be like, actually, Anthony Davis coming is a great call, and this is why the emissions of your car are fucked up. You know what I mean? Like,
yo, I want to be a Gen Z so bad.
It's like dope.
Like, as a high school millennial, like, oh God, I can't even. I feel like I respect the Gen Z generation, and it gives me hope. So I think that like, it's so uncomfortable now to go through what we're going through, but I just know for generations on end, it's just only going to do better. And that's just what I'm just trying to be hopeful. And I really truly believe that. So it's just continue to fight, continue to spread the word, continue to educate yourselves and have conversations and call each other out on their ignorance. Like beef stick, called out beef stick.
Continue going to therapy.
And go to therapy.
Because
it's not that expensive.
We all need it. in any regards, we all need it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, shit. Thank you for coming on the show.
Of course.
Now they know who Bobby is. They get it. And they're like, oh, Bobby's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he talks about climate change and relationships. Like, yo, like, he's a Gen Z. Like, they might like you because of that, you know? So, shit.
Yeah. It's amazing. Well, no, thank you for having me. I appreciate, you know, honesty, transparency, the vulnerability, the, like, being able just to chop it up and, like, be part of something that, like, when I first heard about it, when you first brought this to me, you know, forever ago, I was inspired by it. And I think, like, more people of color stepping into spaces where they're able to, like, you know, recognize therapy and, like, you know, talk about their feelings. And, like, it's a unique thing that is something that I hope catches on. And I hope that there's more versions of broke girl therapy out there, and other countries are very, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's, like, special.
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Do you want to, like, plug yourself? Give your Instagram? No, you don't have to. Okay. Okay, well, I guess we won't. Yeah. He's going to be a mystery.
Be a mystery. They could, you know, they could find me somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
If some, like, on Fairfax or...
Nah, trust me, yo, like, my listeners are kind of crazy. I see you guys in the fucking YouTube comments saying, like, oh, I found Morgan's Instagram, and I found and I'm
you should, they should try to find me.
But also I've, like, aired out what his Instagram
was. Okay.
So that's probably
what it was.
Probably what it was, but, you know, I respect you because you respect me, so.
I just don't want to be at, like, ramen and somebody yells at me and, like, I knew it. I got you. I knew it.
You're definitely not a bad character on this show. You're just like just one of the stories.
One of the stories. That's amazing.
One of the stories.
So,
I'm like, what other exes should I bring on the show?
Yeah. It's beautiful. Okay,
and then follow me, Stefanie Maegan, or go to brocotherapy.com. All that shit is there. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Go vote.
Go vote, please.
Okay, bye. Broke girl therapy.